Okay, so I've been waiting all day long to get back to this, back to my little piggy, and so I'm looking at the ears, and I think I am going to sand a little bit just because it came out looking a little bit lumpy on the back side. So I'm just going to sand this, smooth it out, because the original definitely does not have bumpy ears. And it could be bumpy because I was using the very end of the quikwood, and maybe there was a little bit of what I was talking about where there's some dried bits that probably would have done better to have been cut out of it. But I didn't notice it when I was molding it.
Is this a new?
No, this is it's a repair. The ears had fallen off and the legs had fallen off because I had done an experiment and made them with that air dry clay, and the air dry clay in Florida didn't do too well because of the humidity, I guess, and it fell apart. So I'm having to replace the porker's legs with corks. Well, like the implant where they put a tooth, but first they put a
Post?
Yeah, a post in your jaw. Yeah. I just realized they needed to have a little bit more stability, and that would do it. So, patenting my technique. The smell of sanding quikwood. I could probably do this faster with the Dremel, but that'd be noisier. Okay, so I'm smoothing out the ears. It got dark. This little piggy, this little piggy, this little piggy. So now I'm doing some very technical flattening. What I need is for the feet of the pig to be pretty flat. Let's see if I can show you. I need them to be flat, to sit flat, so that I don't have to build up a whole lot of a hoof. So I took the cork out so that I could hang on to the pig and rub it back and forth, and lo and behold, I heard something in there, and when I emptied it out, I found the tail that had broken off, and the tail had originally been the top of the gourd. So I've just got a piece of really rough sandpaper down here, and I'm just working it forward and back on it, like that. And then when I look at the feet, I can see where they're being sanded to make it flat, and I can just keep going until it goes all the way across, and then I can build little feet, because I don't want it to look like the feet are like this. I want them to be down, not like that. And they are almost there on the back and maybe a quarter of the way there on the front. So maybe I'll concentrate on the back a little bit more. I guess if I had a belt sander, I would just go and it would be done. That's okay. I'm enjoying the peace and quiet. Almost flat. Almost flat. Okay, still nice and flush. I think that's a pretty good start for tonight. I got the legs fairly level. I found the tail, which will be easy enough to replace, but I'll drill into it a little bit, and I'll drill into there a little bit, and I'll do the same trick with the peg. In fact, I'm going to put it back in there so I don't forget where it is and lose it or vacuum it up or anything. And I got the ears sanded, and they look really cute, and they're nice and stable. Everything on it is really nice and stable, so I'm quite happy. I think we're going to let those sleep right here tonight. And so tomorrow, let's see, tomorrow I should be able to finish it. I insert the tail, maybe even tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning I might be able to put on the tail, do the quikwood on the legs, let it sit, and then do all the painting maybe in the evening after everything's really had a chance to cure. So I think that will be the plan. They're kind of cute. You gotta say it. They're actually just a little bit cute. Especially this one. That one's cute. Okay, this might sound silly, but I'm sort of thinking about going ahead and painting the ears and painting the feet and just checking to see how they look. How this is going to look right here where the seams are. I tried to get everything to cover the old spots, but I'm a little bit nervous about like this area right here. How is this going to look? And I just want to get a coat of paint on it and make sure it's actually going to blend appropriately before I move on and put the quikwood here. Although I do kind of want to do the quikwood and have the little feet, you know, kind of like the cloven hoof look. But I just want to go ahead and get the paint on there and make sure it looks, you know, that it doesn't look like I pulled these off and put them back on before I move on. I just want to make sure. So here goes. Piggy, piggy, piggy. Piggy, piggy, piggy. It's really cute. Piggy, piggy. Okay, it's finally time to do some painting. And I'm just painting right off of the top of the lid. I just want to see how this is going to look. I want to see if I can bridge the gap there. I want to see how the sanding that I did on the quikwood, how that took. And once I give these one coat, then I can kind of see if there's somewhere that I need to sand a little bit more, which is very possible. There might be somewhere that's just a little bit, you know, a little bit rough or too much of a gap, or so I'm just going to give it a quick paint and see how it looks. It's going to take several coats because the quikwood is pretty gray, kind of a concrete color almost, but it will take a couple quick coats. There's one spot on the back of this ear that no matter what I do, every time I sanded it seemed like that spot just stayed there. I wonder what was the deal with that. It's like it was a little bit of a flaw in the quikwood. But I can just give these several coats, see how they look, and it's time for me to start giving some coats to the feet and see how they blend in with the body. I'm hoping that it doesn't look like there's a big, you know, like a spot where the other feet were ripped off. Hoping I can get it to blend and have it look pretty natural under there. I might have some areas that I should have trimmed off a little bit better. So I'm just kind of going around the feet, making sure to build up a little bit of paint. Oops. Seeing if I can get the paint on the feet to blend in with the paint on the body and have it look a little bit seamless. Have it look like it's not been altered. I don't know. I might have to sand all of this again. It just feels like over here there's some spots that are a little bit too high, and this is just going to let me know, which is the good thing. It's just going to let me know if I need to put some quikwood around the base of the feet, and that's okay if I have to do that. That'll be all right. This paint is just going to exacerbate any of the flaws and let me know. Right now these corks are pretty straight up and down. I think I'm definitely going to have to put the little cloven hooves at the bottom because this straight up and down look just looks too practiced, too regimented. See, it looks too much like a cork. Put another coat on the ears while I'm here. Just kind of keep working on filling each of these spots. And I need to find which paint I used when I did the final coat. I need to figure out which paint I actually used on this part, because it looks like it was a really thick paint. I can see brush strokes in it, and I just need to mimic the same look. This paint is Craft Smart acrylic paint, white. This comes in a big jar. So this is almost like a primer coat. I'll let this dry overnight, and that way in the morning I can get a really good feel for how's it looking. Does it look like I need to fill in some spots? Where are the biggest gaps? Yeah, I'm not really happy with the area around the feet. It just looks, I think I'm going to have to sand a little bit more on this side. It almost looks like I just totally missed the old paint splotches. Okay, I think that's about all I can do tonight, is just get those nice and coated. They could use probably 2 more coats. I just touched it. I could probably use 2 more coats before I give up on this. But they still, they just look like peg legs, so they're definitely going to need the little hoof part at the bottom. So I am going to figure out how to set this so that, okay, that doesn't even take any of the paint off of the ears. So I'm just going to go clean my brush and let this sit overnight. And then in the morning, I'm going to need to, I'm definitely going to have to sand around the base of these. Even though I thought I did a really good job sanding them, I don't know how I missed whole spots here, but it just looks a little bit too thick there, a little bit too thick there, a little bit too thick there. This one looks pretty perfect. So I'll just go around, sand those spots, and then move on with the hooves. So that is the plan for tomorrow. To make absolutely sure that this tail stays in this hole, I think I'm going to drill a little hole in the tail, and then I'm going to put a peg in it to help hold it in, just like I did with the feet. This is not going to be easy, is it? Okay, I drilled a little hole in there. Now I need to make sure that it sticks to the tail. So I'll put a little bit of glue in it. Put that together. And now I need a little bit to go into there. That should be more than enough. It's going to go like that. I think I want it over that way a little. There it is. Cute little tail. Got a little bit of glue that ended up around it, and I don't want that there. So making sure there's still plenty of glue in there. Just trimming off the little bit that's squeezed out. And I'll paint that, and paint these at the same time. Alright, next is going to be to make the feet and have them kind of flare out a little bit. So I'm going to go get some quikwood. I've got the feet on, and they're looking kind of cute, and I'm just working on sanding around them so that they don't look like they were stuck on. And then I might touch up any spots on the ears I think need a little bit of sanding, and then it'll be some painting overall. Check and see how things look. A lot of times I like to paint, see how things look, and then I might have to sand a little bit more if it looks like there are any like strange lines here where I put the quikwood to put the feet on. So more sanding. I don't mind sanding. Quiet. These are going to be cute little hooves. Do pigs have hooves or feet? Pig's feet? I'm not sure. I might have to look that up. It's going to be so cute. Oh, it's going to be so cute. Look at that little tail. Woo, woo, woo. Now is the moment of truth when I paint and figure out if there are some bad transitions and lines here that need more attention. They will show up greatly at this stage. And then I have to figure out if there is a transition, is it just going to look like that's the hoof, or is it going to look like something was stuck on? Alright, it's looking pretty good so far. I can see a bit of a line. I'll probably try a second coat and just see if that will ease it. I just see too much of a transition there, and I don't want it to look like the hooves were stuck on. I think it's going to take a couple more coats because the feet sort of have a little bit of a look to them. The cork looks a little like cork, like you can almost see a pattern through there. So I'm just going to keep working on that. And I had a place toward the back where the paint had chipped off, or it had just flaked off, so I'm working on that. Now I'm going to work on the ears and get some more paint onto the ears. First I'm going to make sure and get around the bases pretty good. And then I'll pull it out so it matches the rest and doesn't just look like plops on the base. Do a little bit of the space between the ears and feather it out in case any of the other paint is a little bit yellowed. That way it will blend in better. We'll just keep going over this spot, trying to build it up a little bit. Okay, so now for the ears. Trying to paint in one direction one time and the other direction the next time, so I don't have definite lines. Okay, so there we are, getting closer and closer to being done. It's going to be very cute. Okay, I need to let this dry. It can rest just like that, and I'll let it dry, and then I'll probably do another coat here and try and make it look like the paint I used before looked pretty thick, and I can kind of see some lines, so I'll try and make this look like that. That's the plan. So now for it to dry. So I was getting a little bit disappointed, and I was thinking that the feet just looked too much like they were stuck on, and I do have the nose, it's just elsewhere. And then I realized that on the original, there's a very definite line, and then the little hoof, definite line, and then the little cloven part of the hoof. And so what I can do to kind of trick the eye is I can have the part that I've put on be the orange, and then the little swipe. And that way it'll just trick your eye, and you won't notice that that was an extra spot because it'll be a different color. And the tail looks good, looks cute, and I am almost done with this. My only worry is matching up the colors, because let's see, in this one it looks like this orange and this orange are the same, and the brown is totally different. There's some brown on the nose, so I've got to figure out which orange I used in here and make sure I use that orange and then any brown. And I might try and brighten up the nose. The nose looks a little bit dim. I wonder if I should paint the side of the nose white. This one, the nose is all white. Or is it cuter that it looks like a plug? I don't know. I think it's kind of cuter that it actually looks like a plug. So I'm going to go try and find the correct orange. I'm going to wash out my brush, and I will be almost done with this project. And then I only have one more in the summer series of trying to finish every single unfinished project that was lying around here and there. You know how these projects, you go to a class and you have the kid and you've got all the supplies and you just never get around to doing it, and you put it aside, and that's what happened with some of these. This one was a repair, some others I just never finished, so I've got one more that I would like to finish before the end of the month, and then it's on to all new projects. I can't wait. I've ordered some supplies. They are, I think, right over here. I don't think I'm going to show you yet because I some really exciting things to do for some Christmas ornaments, and I can't wait to show you. So let me go get the orange and finish this up. All right, so I went to the drawer and had a bit of a nervous moment because I thought, oh my gosh, what if this was a custom mix color? Because a lot of times if there's a color I want, like if I'm trying to match something, I'll mix just enough color to use for that, and I'll have no extra. But I really think this looks like this must be the paint that I use. This is my color Pantone. This was something I picked up at, this would have been from Home Depot at Christmas when they have those packs. I think it was one of those, and it sure looks like the color. So I'm just doing the hooves at this point. Yeah, that's the color. All right. So I'm just kissing right up to that line. That way nobody will even notice that it looks like they have socks on. I'm just planting my finger on the bottom and rotating so I can get a good line all the way around, because I didn't pick the best, really didn't pick the best brush for doing this fine work. Okay, the bottom of their feet look like they are just raw porcelain, but I'll finish them off. And so once again, I'm just kissing right up to that line, just kind of down and just lifting right up to it the tiniest little bit. I want to make sure the color is nice and saturated on this side. This is the wrong brush for this. Need something a lot softer. And I have the funniest feeling that when I first painted this, I might have put a little bit of water in the paint to make it flow better. Gosh. Okay, next foot. We are on the home stretch. You have to pardon my hair. It's Northeast Florida. It's very humid. Got a hurricane coming through. Got barometer hair. All right, so this actually is the right color of orange, and I had to stop and do some stuff. So the technique I'm using is I'm planting a finger, and then I'm rolling this around like this, rolling my piece around and holding the edges of the brush where I want them so that I get a very nice line, and just kind of starting that edge. And I kind of start down a little bit lower. Let me see if I can show you how I do this. So I start down a little bit lower, and then I just kind of lock, and you can go around like that. I'm going to go around a little bit higher. So I'm just using my finger to control that roll. Got to get enough paint on the brush, then it'll work even better. And then filling in below it. And I'm going to have to go back on all four and fill in again afterward, because this paint is a little bit thin. And sometimes once you paint, you figure out that there's some little very small spots that didn't actually get any paint in them. And I just want it to be right. So I'm just rolling this around so that I get that good edge. And then filling in below. Anywhere that I don't feel like it's quite straight, I would just kiss right up to it. Have a bit of paint on the leading edge of your brush and just kiss up toward it. So I want to get all four of these done, and then look at if I need to touch up. Like there's a spot that's a little bit deeper, so I have to touch up into there. And then the last part, of course, is going to be the brown. So I'm just pinning my finger there, anchoring my finger there. And I've got a lot of paint on the leading edge of the brush. Holding my breath. And just going around. More paint. Then you can just ease up toward that line and fill in. Then I'm going to take a look and make sure they all four look kind of about the same height. So I just want to look and see if any one foot looks way higher than the other. This one now looks like it has a little bit of a jump in it that it doesn't really have. So I'm just going to straighten that out a tiny little bit. Like that. This is a slightly thin paint, and of course painting over white, the white's shining through pretty good too. So I'm putting a couple coats just to make sure that it is nice and bold. When you're pinning your finger like that, you have to watch that you don't pin it on wet paint and then pin it somewhere else that's dry paint and transfer your color just to another location. Now, because I'm a little bit unsure about how I want the brown hoof part to go, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give everything a clear coat. That way, if it's got a nice clear coat and I draw something in and I don't like it, I can wipe it off. At this point, if I draw in with the brown and try and wipe it off, it would also take some of the orange off, and then you would see the white, and then I'd have to start all the way over again. So that's just kind of a sneaky way to deal with some layers, is to put in one layer and then spray it. And when I did these, I put in the yellow and then I sprayed it. And then I put in the orange and I sprayed it. Then I put in the green and I sprayed it. And then I put in the black and then I sprayed it. That way at every single point, if anything messed up, I could just wipe it off. So that's what I need to do next. I kind of feel like I want to touch up the tail a little bit, that because it's solid, I just want to make sure it's nice and bright and the same color, since it had been knocked off and was just kind of wandering around. And I kind of want to, I'm thinking about a little bit brighter on the nose. And that way, if I go ahead and do this now, it'll be the brown that matches. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the whole nose. When you're working with your heat gun, be very, very, very careful. Don't ever set it down like this. Supposedly the heat can go up into the motor and hurt it. I think you can set it like this so that the heat can rise. It's got a hanger on it, and so I immediately hang it up when I'm done with it, or I set it down on this glass, and then I'm very, very aware of where it is, and I've never touched it to my skin. But if you did touch your skin, you would have a heck of a burn. So be so careful with the heat gun. If you're not comfortable with the heat gun, just use a blow dryer. Got a couple spots that just looked a little thin and a little weak, so I'm just beefing them up a little bit. Ha ha. So by making the orange stop right where I had put the quikwood on, you actually really can't even tell. It takes your eye away from it, fools your eye, so you can't tell that there, you don't even notice the line. So that worked out really good. That worked out in my favor. If you get too close with the heat gun, you will bubble the paint and it will look terrible. And there's nothing you can do except sand it and start over. Hang it back up. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry for a little bit while I go wash this brush. And I realize why I'm using this brush, because when it's so coarse that when you drag it, you get lines that look sort of like fur. So what I need to do is I need to wash this brush out and use the same brush. The ears at this point look too soft. They look too smooth. And I need to get some paint on there and really let it get a little bit thick, and then drag it some so that it looks like it has hair marks like the rest of the pig does. So it's just going to sit here and dry a little bit while I go wash the brush, and then I'll be right back. Oh, I can't wait. Last two steps. This project will be done. I'm so happy. Since it was just a repair, it's not like I really wanted to spend loads and loads of time on this. Okay, so make sure my hands are clean. Alright, because I'm not positive that all the orange is dry. So I've got the cheap brush with thick bristles. And I'm going to try to make some bristly lines on the ears. They're just too perfect looking right now. Since when do you ever need brush strokes? I do. This is funny to purposely use some slightly dried paint to purposely put brush strokes in. But I need it to match the rest of the body. Alright, there. Got some brush marks on it. And my question is, does anybody even use piggy banks anymore? Do they? Does anyone do that? I know I just corralled all the change in the house, and I set aside foreign money, South African money, Bahamian money, American money, Canadian money, and set them all aside, and I took all of the US and took it to the bank at $53 and change. A lot of pennies. And so this could hold, if it doesn't sell, it could always hold all my wheat pennies, but wheat pennies also can go in the real pig, the original pig. Okay, so now the only thing left is to wash this brush and then recreate the brown on the hoof and the brown here. But first I need to spray so that I don't preclude myself the opportunity to erase and start over if I need to. So I'm going to head outside. I'll be right back. I thought I'd take a second and show you quickly how I'm going to spray this. I'm not going to hold it because I get tired of getting all sorts of spray on my hands. Instead, I'll put that in there, and then I can just twirl it around and spray it from every angle. And then when I'm done, and after it's dried, then I can actually hold it like this and spray from this angle, just to make sure that I get the tops and the bottoms of the ears, you know, the fronts and the backs of the feet. And I'm wondering if I should poke around in there a little bit and just clean out if there's, sort of felt like there might be a little bit of, yeah, it feels like there's a little bit of stuff still in there. I might clean it out so that more coins can fit in. But anyway, I'm going to head out and spray right now, so I'll see you in a minute. Pig on a stick. So once you've sprayed, it is pretty humid here in Florida, so I always have to watch for any hazing, and if it does haze, you simply hit it with the heat gun, and that will take care of the hazing. I feel like now that I'm in the light, I neglected the top area a little bit, and I need to spray a little bit more just right along his back. I need to find somewhere to prop this up so it can dry a little bit longer. I thought I was on the final the final step of putting the brown on the nose and on the feet. And as I was looking here, I was thinking, boy, those ears are really white. The ears are really white. And then I realized that these ears have some orange around them that kind of wraps around the back, and it's really kind of like brush marky. And in the front, and I haven't done that yet, and I'm going to do this and this. Oh yeah, and there's 2 black dots. So I thought I was almost done, but I'm not. And this looks like they used a brush that was really, really coarse. So let me see if I've got one, maybe the one I've been using that's so coarse. I feel like I almost need to distress it a little bit to make it work right for this. But it's and then around on the back. So I'm not as finished as I thought I was. This is the never-ending project. And my orange is a lot brighter than the yellowish orange they used here, but that's fine. And these are already sprayed, so if I'm making mistakes, I can fix it. All right, let's see if I can replicate this. So it's just sort of down toward the edge, just swoosh, 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 swoosh. Kind of messy. And then from the back, it just kind of okay, looks like I've got that part. The never-ending project. Okay. Next to last. Brown on the nose, brown on the hooves. And this looks like it's a simple, you start a little bit above and just come down and split. So that can't be too hard to do. And be like that. Okay, I could do that. Down and B, down and B. Oh boy, hope I get this part right. Okay, so I've got the down, and now I just need to V it out a little bit. Let's see, this is Craft Smart paint. It doesn't seem to have a not very good coverage. The other one was a Pantone. Actually, the coverage here was pretty good. Since we have 2 of these pigs in my family, I would imagine, the ceramic one, I would imagine that in Italy, when they're painting these, there's probably somebody who goes, and they probably have all the paintbrushes lined up, or else they send them down and the next person does the next thing. I bet it's really fast. I bet it does not take them all day long to paint one pig. I am so close to being finished that I'm not going to take a chance with drawing the little circles for the nostrils. I'm going to use the back end of a paintbrush, and I'm also going to dab it and then just check. I don't know if you guys do this, but I'm just going to check and see if that looks like about the size dot. Yep, that looks like about the right size dot. Because at this point, I don't feel like doing another spray coat. Okay, so I need one there and one there. One there and one there. quite big enough. I'll just push down just a little bit more. There's his nose. Okay. Now all I have to do is wait for that to dry. And a final coat. It's done. Wow. Finally. Okay. Here is the finished Piggy Bank Pig. All finished. I'm so glad to finish. It's so strange to see this because I've been looking at the other pig, the one that was the inspiration piece. I've had this piggy bank probably 50 years. I mean, I've had it since I was a child. And so to see something around the house that looks just like it, my eyes instantly recognize, it's really kind of funny. But there they are. And here's the one that's done. All ready to go to market. Like I said, I don't know if people even save change anymore. I don't know if anybody has a use for a piggy bank. I guess I could always use it as a piñata, right? That's the final. I'll probably do a photo shoot tomorrow when there's a lot more natural light, when the sun is out, and just take some final pictures of it before I pack it away to go to sale. So thanks for watching. I hope that helped give you some ideas for how to attach legs so that you know for sure that they're not going to fall off, and how to save yourself from using quite so much product like quikwood by using some other things like dowels or cork or anything like that, and then working your quikwood around it. And corks are pretty useful. So hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you some inspiration and some ideas, and some ideas to try on your own. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe so you get the notification for the next one. I'm not sure what's next because I've got the big octopus, still needs eyeballs, and these are the last two projects of the summer. So I am just so thrilled to be done with them. Alright, so here is the final, this is the final. Little Piggy is all ready to go to town. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you sticking with me through this project. You can see that these legs are so sturdy. I mean, I couldn't rip them off if I tried. The tail is on sturdy. I hope you learned a good technique for attaching legs and attaching ears and things like that. These ears are not going to come off. And isn't that just cute? I'm so thrilled with how it came out. I'm pulling out the inspiration piece. You never know what's going to inspire you. I have a video coming up that a pair of pants inspired me. So this is the little piggy, little Italian pig, all done. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Next one coming up, I think, is the giant octopus. Then after that, I've got a video about my favorite pair of pants that are going to be turned into a gourd that's coming up. And isn't this fun? Doesn't this make you want to make a piggy bank? Woo, woo, woo. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe and share with your friends if they're gourders, and use any of the links below to buy products. It helps me out by giving me a tiny little percentage of your purchase. It doesn't raise the cost to you at all, but it just gives me a little tiny bit of income as a reward for making the videos for you and doing the tutorials and whatnot. So thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!